Hey, it's Dorleen, and I'm working on another card during my Stamp-tember event. So what I'm trying to do is I'm using older stamps, or stamps I haven't used in a long, long time, and doing some techniques that I also haven't done in a long, long time. So I hope I encourage you to do your own version of my cards. So the technique that I'm doing today is called rock and roll, or that's what my stamp director called it. But basically, that's what I'm doing. So you take a solid stamp, which I'm using with this circle stamp, and you basically roll it around on your ink pad. So you don't want a solid image of ink, because normally when you have an image, you press it into your ink pad and you get that solid image. So by rocking it and rolling it around, what you're getting is a really good variation of colors of that same ink pad. But you see how there's some lighter and some darker. Normally what would happen is the darker would be on the outside, because that's really where you're kind of putting that consistent pressure, and then it gets lighter in the middle. So the funny thing is on that far right stamp pad or ink pad, I have a ink pad exactly like this. This is my daughter's. I thought hers would be a little bit more juicy since hers was newer, which it was, but she had done some project where you can see on there that she had little dots. So I did get some of that on the circle. So that was a little added texture bonus, I guess. But anyhow, if you're interested in the ink colors and the stamps that I'm using, or any of the products I use for this card, all that information will be on my blog, and my blog address will be down below. So please click on over there, get all the information, plus there'll be more close-ups of pictures and just a written description of what I did. But again, I didn't make a full pattern paper, my own pattern paper, which I have done before. I just worked on this eight and a half, oh my goodness, 4¼ by 5½ piece of paper, and then I trimmed it down to where since you can see that some of those circles weren't full circles, so I cut down the other side so it matched a little more. And then I grabbed another just old flower stamp. All of my wood block stamps are from Stamping Up, because that was the first stamp company that when I started stamping. But I don't know the name of this kit, but you can use any floral image or any image really. And I just went through and just kind of randomly stamped just to add some extra interest to this, the stamp circles. And I really like the way this turned out. I love the 4-color ink pads that I used, because I went from darker to a lighter. I hope you like it too. And if you do, give me a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and also the notification bell to be notified of all my videos. I do post at least one video a week, and those videos vary from card making, scrapbooking, Cricut projects, some mixed media projects, usually which involves my junk journal, and just really anything that I'm working on in my command center, which is what the name of my craft room is, and the name of my blog, which is Crafts in the Command Center. But I hope you enjoy these videos. I know I'm having a lot of fun making them. So once I did all the stamping, you saw me put the color splash, and it's a silver all over. I love that. That's kind of like been my go-to. And then I decided to add this bow up on top, and that's just some old yarn type twine that I've had in my stash. That card base was a colored one that I received from a friend. She gifted me a whole bunch of card bases, and I love how it just matches so well to that really light soft sky, I believe is the name of the ink pad. So it just worked out perfect. I decided to use a liquid glue on this because I needed it to have a really strong adhesion because of the yarn. And I do like using liquid glue too, because you do get a little wiggle room when you're placing it down on your card base. I put acrylic blocks on it just to kind of keep that glue or keep everything kind of solid or stuck together while I was determining what I was doing for sentiment. Kept it kind of simple because I didn't want to cover up that really cool background. And I just used a stamp set, and again, I'll have that listed down in my blog. This banner-like stamp. You'll see me fussy cut around that. Pretty simple, nothing really fancy about that. I used some foam adhesive to lift it up a little bit, and I was able to use some foam adhesive scraps, because a lot of times I'll cut pieces down if they're too big. So that was kind of nice using scraps. And I added that. The card, I really, really like the way this turned out. I put a glue dot underneath that bow just because, kind of kept it flat down on the card base. And then you'll see me in a minute grab some silver glitter like enamel dots, which I bought from, I want to say, Hobby Lobby. But that's pretty much the card. Again, super simple, very simple technique. If you don't have like a solid circle stamp, you can really use anything. I did think I was going to use a solid flower stamp, but I just didn't like the way it looked when I was doing the rock and roll stuff. So, just use what you have and break out those old stamps. And I hope you enjoy this really fun technique. Give me a thumbs up again if you do like it, and I will see you later. I have a couple more cards for this event. Bye.